Good morning! I am getting ready to start my long run for today. It's going to be a 14-miler. I am out and ready, walking to warm up my muscles. I already rolled out because I was so sore from my workouts this past week, doing a lot of leg and booty muscle building. So I am walking, warming myself up. I have my pack on and I am all ready to go. So once I feel a little bit warmed up, I'm going to get on my way. I'll update you around mile 1 or 2. Okay, 1 mile done. I've been doing my warm up and my cool down around the complex just to make sure my knee is feeling all right. So I feel good, no pain so far. So I am going to head out, hit the road, and catch on to one of the park trails as I go. So it'll be about 2 miles to the trail, and then I'm just gonna run the trail for the rest of my run and then run back and do my cool down around here. So now that I am done, the pup is inside, Jerome is taking him in, and then he's gonna meet me with the car just in case I do have pain. So I'm gonna turn on my audiobook. No, not audiobook. I'm gonna turn on my podcast. I'm listening to a bunch of the old Another Mother Runner episodes because I just downloaded it last week or the week before. So I am listening to all the ones that have topics that I'm really excited about. So that is what I'm going to be doing during my run today. I am super excited, and I'll check up with you in a little bit. Just hit 3 miles ran, feeling good. I actually have a bit of a faster pace than I expected, but I'm feeling good with it, so I'm gonna keep it up. A couple things that I noticed that are awesome are that I have my mask hooked around my ear, and then I can put it over and hook it onto my Beats. That way I'm not wearing it the whole time, but when I am approaching or passing somebody, I can put it up. And I am feeling all the goodness of like an ab workout in my abs right now, which makes me so happy because it's usually not something that I feel. So it just reinforces that, you know, the core training that I'm doing and all the other strength building I'm doing is paying off, and it feels so great. So I am just cruising right now. I'm in a groove listening to my podcast, and I should be intercepting Jerome in within the next mile or so. So yeah, check in later. Yeah, I just hit 4 miles done. Jerome is now with me. He's cruising along, and we just passed where the car is parked, so we should be good for a little bit. So wish us luck as we go into this 4th mile to mile 5. 10 miles left. We are at mile 5.5, but I am feeling really tight, so I'm going to stop and stretch real quick before we continue so that I minimize any issues with my knee hurting or any other injuries. Now that I'm all done stretching, I am back to walking. I'm gonna walk for a little bit so that I can eat this goo. It is a caramel macchiato flavor, which I've never tried before, so I'm excited to try it and see how I like it. Okay, I have just been running for almost a mile now, so I took about 3/4 of a mile break from 5 to 5 3/4, and then I am almost at 7 miles now. I have to reapply some Skin Glide because I'm feeling some rubbing, and that is not comfortable. So this anti-friction cream is great because it's not necessarily chafing right now, it's just that things are rubbing. So I'm gonna decrease it. I put it on before I run, and we're about halfway, so it's a good time to reapply. So okay, we are almost at 8.5 miles. Our last 1.5 miles got a little bit sidetracked because I got a couple calls about important stuff. So I had to stop what I was doing and just walk and talk on the phone. Couldn't really run because then I'd be huffing and puffing. So getting back to my run, hoping to finish out the last couple of miles really, really strong. So I'm at mile 9. I am so hungry. I don't think I ate enough before my run, or maybe I just didn't eat enough last night for like carb loading or whatnot, but I am so hungry. So I'm really glad that I packed a second snack. I got this Grenade Carb Killa high protein bar. I'm a little nervous to try it because it's a birthday cake flavor, and that's typically not something that I would pick or enjoy, but I'm gonna try it out and hope it holds me over for the remaining 5 miles. Okay, we're on our last down and back. Should take us to the very end of 14 miles. I am just about at just past 10 and a half, almost approaching 11. I think I'm right in the middle, around 10 3/4. So feeling good now that I've eaten the protein bar, and it wasn't too bad, so I'm excited about that. Just gotta finish strong. Just hit 12 miles and 3 hours of running. Well, interspersed walking as well with stretching. So feeling good, still no knee pain. There are other muscles that are pretty tight, but I'm hanging in there. 2 miles to go. Let's do this. Okay, 14 miles done, no pain. This is the first time I've ran this distance, so more than about, I think the longest I did in the past 3 weeks was 3 miles. So was taking a chance running so long, and if you haven't already run that amount of distance and built up to it, I would not recommend it at all, because it can cause you more injury than good to jump right back into it. So I've been gradually going back. I've been doing a lot of strength training, so I figured, you know, I've done this, I'm training for it, and I put precautionary things along my way. So Jerome had the car ready, so if I needed to stop, I could. I wore a compression sleeve on my knee. I stopped and I stretched, and I took breaks to walk instead of running the whole thing, and that definitely helped. And just because you stop and walk does not mean you are not a runner. You are still a runner. I still ran those 14 miles. I just conserved my energy, and I did well for myself, for injury prevention, and for endurance by taking those walking segments. So I'm really proud of that. So some of the takeaways from my run today are that definitely roll out before you go on a run. It is so helpful. I was so sore beforehand and I was having trouble walking, and afterwards it was so much easier. After rolling, it was so much easier to get out there and walk and then start my run. I also started my warm-up by doing about a half-mile walk, and that was really nice. And then I went in and I did about a mile of a warm-up before I even left to go further away from home on my run. And then along the way, I listened to a podcast, so I was just thinking about running the whole time because I was listening to the Another Mother Runner podcast, and that was so funny. Some of the episodes were funny and they were insightful, and they made me think about my running as a runner. So I'm really excited that I was able to share this run with you. I hope that going forward you have a little bit more insight into running, and maybe some of the tips that I've shared about stopping and fueling and stretching have made you more comfortable with what your runs look like, because just because you stop during a run does not mean you are less of a runner. It just makes you smart about your own training. So I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day or morning whenever you're watching this. And if you want to see more, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.